Over the past 10 years, I have helped dozens of e-commerce brands to scale to 8 figures and beyond using this Google Ads strategy. And I did all this without having these brands do any dodgy black hat ads tactics. All of this was achieved with just getting really good at the fundamentals. In this video, I'm going to reveal exactly what this Google Ads strategy is so you can use it to grow your e-commerce brand as well. All right, with that said, let's hop in. Alright guys, so let's start out by just clarifying what actually makes for a good e-commerce Google Ads strategy, right? What are the components that we need in a Google Ads strategy that actually make it work for our e-commerce stores? So one of the things that we really want to see in a good strategy is the right balance of trusting the AI. Now, as I'm sure you know, Google Ads and most ad platforms these days are so heavily reliant on AI, but how much of that AI you use and how much of the automation you trust is something that you have to strike the right balance with, right? So for example, smart bidding is good. Automated bidding based on conversions is good. It's much better than manual bidding as long as you've got enough conversion data, right? Doing something like spending hours upon hours of doing negative keyword research, this is not a good idea. It's a waste of time because negative keywords have pretty low value, and oftentimes when people are adding negative keywords based on intuition, they actually get it wrong because the data we get in the account is much better than the intuition you use. And so oftentimes I see people thinking a keyword's not going to work, but then actually the keyword can actually work. So these are just examples of how you need to know how much to trust the AI. Like if you're spending hours and hours doing negative keywords, like you're just not trusting the AI enough. Like the AI is pretty good when it's given the right targets at managing this stuff for you. Making decisions based on gut instead of using the data. That's another example of not finding the right balance of trusting the AI. And then you don't want to use 100% automated campaigns, and you don't want to use 100% manual campaigns either. You actually want to use a mix of both. So that's where the right balance is in there. And then like broad match used to be terrible, but these days, thanks to like AI optimization of the broad match algorithm, it actually works really well. So these are just examples, but generally speaking, a good e-commerce Google Ads strategy has the right balance of using the right AI optimized features, the right automations without using too much. If you just go 100%, oh, let's just do a fully automated PMax campaign with no manual intervention and no manual optimizations, you will lose out. And at the same time, if you do full manual, you will lose out. So find the balance, find the middle ground. Use the right campaigns. So there are so many options in Google Ads, right? So many different campaigns you can run and so many different campaign types and so many different channels you can go into. So you must use the right campaigns if you want to win. And you must use the right campaigns that are right for your business and your stage of advertising and your budget. But don't worry, we shall get into this later in the video. And then focusing your time, brain, effort in the correct places. So this is about resource management. If you really wanted to, you could like spend 24 hours a day doing negative keywords in your account or just doing some form of manual optimization in your account. So I put this point again, it falls into this category as well. But you really need to know what are the right ways to spend your time when you're creating a Google Ads campaign. And you want to spend your time on high leverage stuff and not waste your time on low leverage stuff. So ways that you can sort of spend your time well are by like learning how the bid strategies work. And when you're in your interface, everything should be ranked in descending order of cost. So when you're looking at keywords, you look immediately at the top spending keywords. When you look at campaigns or ad groups, you look immediately at the top spending campaigns or ad groups, and you spend most of your brain power and effort there so that you're focusing your effort where the reward is higher. And having the longer term view, not getting swayed by short-term data and making loads of changes to your campaign based on emotions that come up when you look at 1 day or even less than 1 day of data. No, that would be a suboptimal usage of your time, brain, and effort. And a better usage of your time, brain, and effort would be to take the long-term view. Look at like 1 week, 1 month, 1 quarter, 1 year. These are the kind of date ranges you want to be looking at. So all this is to say you want to focus in the right places, and that's what this strategy does for you. So, okay, let's actually dive into the strategy now that we've covered what makes for a good strategy. And first off, I'm going to tell you that if you're just starting out and you're new to Google Ads and you've got a successful e-commerce brand and now you need to scale it with ads and you want to test out Google Ads, focus on Performance Max first. Performance Max is a great choice for your first campaign type because what it does is it's automatically going to get ads across pretty much every area of Google Ads network, and it's going to automatically test all those different areas for you. So Performance Max is going to get ads into YouTube, it's going to get ads into search, it's going to do shopping ads, it's going to do retargeting ads, it's going to do banner ads, and you know what? It's very, very quickly, in most cases, going to figure out, oh, I should just do a ton of shopping ads. And that's, for e-commerce, I kind of think of Performance Max as the new smart shopping. It's basically like a shopping campaign, but with a bit of extra stuff on top. It's going to be primarily 80%, 85% shopping ads in there, but it's going to do a bit of search and it's going to do a bit of retargeting. And if somehow for your brand it can make cold traffic on YouTube and Google Display Network actually work, then it's going to do that as well. So it's a good discovery campaign. It's going to do primarily shopping, and it's going to try and test some other stuff for you as well. And it's fairly quick to set up. So that's why I recommend you start there if you're pretty new to Google Ads and you want to test it out quickly. So you can, it's your best choice for your first campaign. You can get more fancy later on, and I'm going to cover that in a minute in this video. But here's the general overview of what you need to set up in the first place to get going with Performance Max. So you're going to need to set up a Google Ads account. Obviously, free to set up, and Google Merchant Center account. That's an additional account with Google that you need to set up. It's going to house your data feed, your product data. So Google Merchant Center account gets connected to Google Ads, and then your store gets connected to Google Merchant Center, and that is how Google Merchant Center ends up with your product data. So you can connect your Shopify or whatever store directly to Merchant Center, and then through the API, Merchant Center can just grab all your product data directly into Merchant Center. And that is fine if you've got not too many products, maybe less than 50 products. If you've got hundreds or even thousands of products, you probably want to do this option here. So these are the two options. You can just plug straight in from your store to Merchant Center, or you can plug your store into a data feed tool which generates the data feed for you and then sends that data feed into Google Merchant Center. And that's a much better option if you've got hundreds or thousands of products, right? If you've got a really big product list and you plan to do a lot of good high-level product feed optimization, then take the data feed tool option. And then you also want to make sure you've got conversion and revenue tracking set up. So Google Ads needs to be sent the data from your store. When someone hits the thank you page, you need to be sending conversion and revenue data back into Google Ads. So you want to follow, after you've set up your Google Ads account, you want to follow the instructions inside there for setting up conversion tracking and making sure your revenue tracking is correct, because everything else is kind of based on good conversion and revenue tracking. So that's basically the stuff you need to have in place to get going with Performance Max, and then you want to start out with Performance Max before progressing onto other campaign types. Okay, optimize your product titles. So I mentioned that Performance Max is primarily going to do shopping ads for you, and one of the most important things to do to make sure your shopping ads are targeting as many keywords as possible is to optimize the title that you see in the shopping ad. So I'm actually going to take you through a little example. Let's do this together. And do an example title optimization. So let's say I'm optimizing the title for this product here. It's a Bellroy hide and seek wallet. Now, when you first set up your data feed, what's going to happen is, when you first connect your store to Merchant Center, either directly or through a data feed management tool, what's going to happen is it's just going to copy and paste the exact title that you have on your website. And this is really suboptimal because the title you have on your website is not optimized for shopping. To be optimized for shopping, you have to stuff it full of keywords that people actually search for. And you've got up to 150 characters with which to do this. So you don't want to just be copy pasting hide and seek into your product title. What you want to do is this. First of all, go into your Google Ads account and then just search for some example seed keywords. So let me just show you what it looks like. So you go to Tools, Keyword Planner, Discover New Keywords, and now you just want to use your brain to plug in seed keywords. So wallet for men, slim wallet for men, RFID blocking wallet, and then leather wallet. So just off the top of your head, you're going to know some seed keywords. You want to plug those in. Once you have plugged those in, you're going to get search volumes. So there we have the search volumes there. And what you want to do is just note down all the good stuff in here, all the stuff that's relevant and gets good search volume. And anything like that's getting tens of thousands of searches is good. Like hundreds of thousands of searches is fantastic. Obviously, we're going to have wallet in our title. And funnily enough, actually, the original title, the copy and paste title that would have been default put into shopping doesn't actually have wallet in there. So already just by adding wallet, we've made a huge improvement. And yeah, 90,000, that's good. Slim wallet for men, that's good. That's okay. Leather wallet, yep, good. Crypto wallet, we don't want. Wallets for women, we don't want. Best wallets for men. E-commerce searches, people always search for the word best, so it's good. It's usually good to have best as a keyword in your titles. RFID wallet, we like that. Card holder wallet, yep, we hold cards. And men's leather wallet, cool. So what you do is you pick out your top performing keywords, and then you want to start getting those into your titles. So what we might come up with then is something like, okay, here we are in a Google Sheet, and why I like doing it in a Google Sheet is because we can use this formula, equals LEN, brackets, highlight that. And then what this does is it's going to count our characters for us. Can't spell apparently. So you can see it's counting the characters. And now I aim to get 130 to 150 characters. So let's now use some of these keyword ideas and enter them into our title. So we might go with something like, okay, there you have it. I've typed out my manually optimized title, and what you can see here is it's 141 characters, and I've got loads of keywords in there based on the keyword research that I did here. So I managed to get, leather, slim leather wallet for men. All right, now it's 148 characters. Nice. I'm going really close to that 150 character limit there. And you can see I've put in all those keywords there: RFID blocking wallet, card holding small wallet, bifold. And I even got in some bigger category level keywords, men's, fashion, and accessories, to try and target some even bigger keywords. And then sticking the brand at the end. And that title right there is going to perform so much better than the original title. Now that is how you would manually optimize things, but if you would like a quicker way to do this, then feel free to grab my shopping optimizer AI tool. It's a custom GPT that I created that me and my team use to help shortcut this process. And what you can do with this is you can put in your URL here. It's going to scan a little bit and then ask you the store brand name, Belroy. And then it's going to ask what keywords do we want in there. So I might pick up to 3 keywords from the list that I definitely want to include. Let's say leather wallet, and let's say best wallets for men. Let's just leave it at that. And then it goes away and generates the title for me. 123 characters, much better title there. So feel free to grab a copy of this free tool, link in the description below this video. And yeah, optimize your titles. The general process is Google Keyword Planner, exactly like I just showed you. The general process is Google Keyword Planner, enter your seed keywords, write down the best, most relevant, highly searched for keywords from the list that Google Keyword Planner spits out, and then proceed to keyword stuff your title, and feel free to use my custom GPT to help shortcut the process. Okay, get product ratings enabled. Next up, you want to make sure that product ratings are attached and connected to your Google Ads account. This is going to show the little review stars next to your products in the shopping ads results. Super important, because it's one of the ways you can make sure that your products and your ads actually stand out on the shopping results page. Let's see if I can show you a quick example. Here you go. So H&M Thailand, that is the product rating that we have right there. 7 reviews, 4 out of 5. And that immediately makes it stand out so much more versus these other products that don't have any reviews. So you want to make sure that is enabled because it really helps increase the click-through and conversion rate of your products when they're in the shopping ads results. So step one is you want to be collecting reviews with a third-party provider. Google has a free tool you can use to collect reviews, but normally the paid premium third-party providers for collecting reviews are much better. They do cost a bit of money, but it's usually worth the money. And once you've got those reviews being collected by a third party, you want to make sure that that third party is connected to Google Merchant Center and that the reviews are being fed into Google Merchant Center. So here's how you do that. If you're new to this, what you're going to need to do, so from the main screen, you can click on the cog up here and go add-ons. Once you're on the add-ons screen, you want to find product ratings. So if you're new to this, you're going to have to click here, submit product ratings interest form from the add-ons screen. There's a little form you have to fill out. There's a few bits you have to click through to complete this. But once it's done, then you can get product ratings enabled for you in Google Ads, and it'll look a bit different once product ratings are enabled. So let's have a look. So once you have registered your interest and enabled it in your account, you'll be able to see a reviews field down here. And from the reviews section, what you can do is you want to get your product ratings, first of all, from your third-party review aggregator. You need to get a copy of your review feed, which you can download or get a link to, and then you can upload that review feed into Google Merchant Center by coming to reviews, product reviews, and then from here you can upload your product review feed by coming to here, product review data sources, add product reviews here, and then you can link to the file or use FTP or Google Cloud Storage or upload the file from your computer. This will be the file that you downloaded or got from your third-party review aggregator. Now, with regards to which third-party review aggregator to use, let's just have a look at this document here. It's a document I created for my team in case they ever need to explain to clients which review aggregator we recommend, right? So there are loads of review aggregators out there. You've got like Akendo, Judge.me, Stamp.io, Yotpo. And here are my thoughts on them from the point of view of being a Google Ads person wanting to get product ratings and seller ratings enabled. So Google does provide a free version of the above. It's called Google Customer Reviews. You can enable it right there in Merchant Center. But it's a bit fiddly and annoying to set up and you don't have much control over it. So I normally recommend setting up one of the paid alternatives. Stamped.io seems to be going downhill lately. I've heard a lot of complaints from clients and friends saying that it's going downhill. Yotpo is just really expensive, so I don't super recommend them. Judge.me is a really good value platform that gets really good reviews. Like, clients and friends of mine who use it really swear by it. It's just $15 per month, and you get product ratings for that $15 per month, so it's really good value. The only rub is you won't get seller ratings with Judge.me. So for seller ratings, you will need to also install Google Customer Reviews. So Judge.me is cheap to set up, but you also need to set up Google Customer Reviews if you want seller ratings. By the way, seller ratings are the stars that you get on your search ads. So here's product ratings. They are the stars you get on your product ads, whereas the stars you get on your search ads are going to be Google seller ratings. I do recommend you set both of those up because it helps both your search ads and your product ads. So you do want to get both of them set up. Now, the cheapest recommendation I have is to use Judge.me plus Google Customer Reviews. That's cheap, $15 per month, but it's more complicated to set up because you have to set up two things, and Google Customer Reviews is kind of annoying to set up and a bit fiddly, and it can go a bit wrong as well. So you kind of need a developer on your side to help you install Google Customer Reviews. Now, the alternative is Akendo, which is $119 per month for their growth plan. So this is the best value one that I can find that gets you a bunch of orders per month for the $120, and it allows you to have product ratings and seller ratings. So some of the other options out there will allow you to have product ratings and seller ratings, but they tend to be more expensive than Akendo. So these are my two recommendations. For cheap but more complicated to set up, Judge.me plus Google Customer Reviews. Or for a bit more money but easier to set up and a more comprehensive overall offering, Akendo will get you product ratings and seller ratings all in one package. Okay, so that covers product ratings. Now you need to know to manage your bids and budgets properly. So what do I mean by this? What this means is when you are in learning mode, right, you want to be using a bid strategy of maximize conversion value with no target set. So don't set a ROAS target or a CPA target at the beginning. Then you want to wait for around about 50 plus conversions to teach the algorithm how to bid your campaign, and then you can implement a target ROAS, and then you can scale budgets after you've implemented your target ROAS. So this stuff about managing the bid strategy and the budgets is actually the most important part of your overall success on Google Ads. So you really want to get this right. I'm like trying to just give you the general rules of thumb here. Like obviously it doesn't necessarily apply to every single situation, but this applies to most situations. There's always some nuance depending on your business and your exact situation. Now, once you have got out of learning mode and you have implemented ROAS targets and you've scaled your budgets, what you now need to know is that once you've implemented your ROAS target and the campaign is stabilized at that ROAS target, it is now the ROAS target that is limiting the spend on your campaign. It should no longer be the budget that limits the spend on your campaign. So at this point, you want your daily budget to always be greater than your actual spend, because why wouldn't you want that, right? Like you are now hitting your target ROAS. Presumably you knew how to set your target ROAS at something that was profitable for you. So every dollar you're spending on ads is generating positive dollars in revenue and profit if you've set the target ROAS correctly. So with that condition in place, you never want to be limited by your daily budget, which means whatever is the actual spend from your campaigns, you need to have a daily budget that is way above that. So if your campaign spends $100 per day, put your daily budget at $200 per day. Let's just make sure there's always room in between the actual spend and the daily budget, and make sure that the ROAS is actually being delivered on target. And with those things in place, then you'll be maximizing your spend as you can for that ROAS target, right? And at this point, the ROAS target is limiting your budget, not the daily budget. And the only way to make it spend more would be to either modify your targeting so that you're targeting more stuff, or if you want to spend more with the same targeting, you would need to change your ROAS target. Like reducing your ROAS target would make the system increase your CPC bid, which would make you spend more, but at a lower ROAS. But that's a bit of a trade-off, right? But what you don't want to do is be losing impression share due to budget at any time. And once you're here, right? Once you've got to the point where it's your target ROAS that is limiting your campaign, not your daily budget, and your daily budget is way higher than your actual spend, your main goal at this point is just to not fuck it up. I see like loads of people just fucking it up at this point because they didn't know how to judge results properly. So when you're judging results, when you're looking at changes in your campaign and you want to see, is this working? Should I do something different? You just have to bear a couple of things in mind. One of them is 50 plus conversions, right? If you are looking at a view in Google Ads and you can see less than 50 conversions and then you see, the ROAS is too low, right? You're not looking at a very statistically significant amount of data. And you need to look at 50 or 100 conversions in order to look at some more statistically significant data. So a classic example is date range. If you look at the past 1 day of data and you see, oh shoot, my ROAS is only 100% and I'm trying to get 300%. But the past 1 day of data, you only got 10 conversions. Well, you're not looking at statistically significant data, and the ROAS you're looking at is just random, right? When you're looking at too low conversion volumes, then all the results you're looking at just don't really count. So the thing to do in that situation would be to widen your date range and look at the past 7 days, the past 30 days, the past 60 days. And the other thing is to bear in mind learning periods and bear in mind time-lagged sales. So what do I mean by this? Let's give you an example. All right, so here we are on an example client account, and here we can see the learning period, right? So if you are looking at, say, past 30 days data, and then you see ROAS here is 283, right? And maybe the target ROAS for your account was supposed to be 350. So then you go, oh shoot, look, I'm looking at enough conversions. That's 292 conversions there. So that's a significant amount. And my target is 350, but it's only getting 283. Well, hang on a second, because another thing to pay attention to is this. You see this blue bar here? That's the time-lagged sales. So that's like the amount of time it takes for more sales to come in. And this ties in with this point here, time lag sales. You have to bear in mind that Google reports the time of the sale to the date of the last ad click, right? So there's this issue where if you look in analytics, if a sale, right, if someone clicks on an ad and they click the ad today, but they buy the product tomorrow, in Google Analytics and in Shopify, it will say that sale happens tomorrow. But Google Ads will report the time of the sale to today, because that was when the last ad click is. So because of that, you get this like time lag effect where when you look at really recent data, it's not including those time lag sales. This blue bar here encapsulates, like, it tries to visually represent the amount of time lag sales you get in the account, but you can come into goals and you can go measurement, attribution, go to day, path metrics, and then let's look at a really nice long date range here. And then what you can see here is how time lagged the sales are, right? So in this account, 74% of sales revenue comes in on the same day. But that means like 25% of sales are time lagged. 25% of sales take some amount of days after the last ad click before the sales come in, which means that if you are looking at the sales for yesterday using the default columns in Google Ad, you're missing out on 25% of the data, because 25% of the sales are going to be a bit time lagged and they're going to take a bit of time to come in. And if you look at the sales from yesterday, like let's say today you look at the sales from yesterday, it says $100, right? When you look at the sales again, tomorrow you look at the sales again for yesterday, it will then say $125. And like every day you wait, some more of these time lag sales will come in, right? So depending on the size of this effect in your account, it's not really fair to look at very recent batches of data. So when you look at, say, past 30 days in here, you might see a blue bar here, that's your time lag sales. And the best way to try and account for that is just to use older data. When we use older data like this, then we are encapsulating more of the time lag sales. And you can see here, look, my ROAS already went up to 3.65. That's because I'm now including the time lagged sales that I wasn't including when I looked at past 30 days, that included, like, say, the past 1 week where not all the time lag sales had been captured. So that is all to say that just don't fuck it up when you are now piloting a successful campaign on target ROAS. Don't look at too small a time period. Don't look at data where the algorithm was in learning mode. If you recently made a big change to the bidding algorithm, don't look at like a batch of 10 conversions from yesterday and say, oh, this campaign isn't working, let's change something, right? You have to know how to look at things, and most of the time when you know how to judge things properly, you end up finding, oh, okay, this is actually working, this is fine, let's not completely fuck it up by changing everything because the data from yesterday said our ROAS was 10% too low. And final point is, I talked about how you can start out with PMax and that's fine, but eventually you're going to want to grow and expand your campaign structure. And this is what I would see your ideal campaign structure expanding out to after you've kind of gone through the initial learning phases and you're getting a bit more familiar with Google Ads. You probably want to expand out to something like this. This is a standard structure that we use for intermediate level Google Ads e-commerce campaigns. And what we do is, so for Performance Max, we're going to segment into campaigns based on ROAS performance. So anything that gets a high ROAS, and we're looking at the actual ROAS in the product data in the campaign, anything that gets above our ROAS threshold, we'll put into the high ROAS campaign. Anything that gets below the ROAS threshold, we put in the low ROAS campaign. And we probably set the ROAS threshold just a bit above break even. So if we know we break even at 170% ROAS, we might set the ROAS threshold at 200%. And everything above that threshold, we put in high ROAS campaign. Everything below that threshold, we put in low ROAS campaign. And then the goal is to spend more on the high ROAS stuff and to increase the ROAS of the low ROAS stuff, right? So that allows you to milk better profitability out of your overall account. And then you've got zombies. So what you often find if you've got a big product list is you'll have some products that just don't get any spend. And Google never really tested them. So you can have a dedicated campaign just for zombie products. And the whole goal of that campaign is just to force them to spend. Don't put target ROAS on it, put a low daily budget, and put maximize conversion value bid strategy on the campaign, and put your zombie products into that campaign and just try and get them to spend. And when you break them out into their own campaign like this, you can often revive some of those zombies. And then once they're revived, they can go into either low ROAS or high ROAS campaign. Google Display Network and YouTube ads, I highly recommend setting up retargeting campaigns here. It just works. It works really well. Your Performance Max campaign will be doing some retargeting for you, but by breaking it out into their own campaigns, where you can manually control the targeting and the creative, you can get better results out of those retargeting campaigns. Same thing with search. Performance Max will do some search for you. But again, like if you just do 100% Performance Max and don't break out your own manually controlled campaigns as well, you're not finding the right balance of manual and automated, of sort of human run and AI run, right? And this here is what I think is the right balance. You have the automated Performance Max campaign stuff running, but you additionally add on top these manually created campaigns. And you want to run manually created search campaigns for your store branded keywords, break those out into their own campaign. And then your product campaign, this is just your non-brand stuff. So all the non-branded keywords would go into your product campaign. You want to set up some dynamic search ads as well. I'll put a link in the description below this video to my strategy guide for dynamic search ads. And then RLSA head terms. So this is where you set up a retargeting search campaign. What you want to do here is you want to add audiences to this campaign, and you want to add your website retargeting audiences, and you want to set it to targeting mode, not observation mode. So with this campaign, you're only targeting people who have been to your site before and who are now searching for specific keywords, right? And what we do with the RLSA head terms campaign is we target keywords that are much broader than you would normally target. So for example, this product here again, the hide and seek leather wallet. Now, if I were advertising this product on Google Ads, I wouldn't normally advertise on the keyword accessories, right? It's too broad. What kind of accessory are they looking for? But if I know that the person has been to my website in the past few days and now they're searching for something to do with accessories, well, now we've actually got a good chance that it is a relevant search for us. So that's what the RLSA head terms campaign does, is you want to retarget people who have been to your site recently, but you also want to target them if and when they're searching much broader keywords than you can normally target when it's not a retargeted audience. So that there is what that is all about. And there you have it, my best way to scale e-commerce brands using Google Ads. Now, as you've seen, a big part of the strategy here is to correctly use Performance Max campaigns when you're scaling your e-commerce store. To learn my best high-performing Performance Max campaign structures in 2025 and beyond, check out this video up here where I go into a lot more detail on that particular point. All right, thank you, and I'll see you on the next one.